Janka, in the past, we've heard some shocking numbers coming out of just how municipalities are performing. If I take a look at the sort of first few paragraphs of Zweli Mkhize's statement there does seem to be a few positives this time around.
Yes, it's quite interesting, Michelle, if you look at that statement, and it starts describing it as a hectic, challenging but productive year, according to the minister. So we heard, for example, that earlier this year they identified 87 municipalities that they described as distressed, that needed urgent intervention, and that number has now been brought down to 72. So that number, at least 15 municipalities that they felt could be taken off of that list, including Citybeng and West Rand, which has been in the news quite a bit recently. They believe that they've made progress there because they've been sending teams specifically to the different provinces and to these municipalities that required help, especially after the AG report came out, just detailing those billions of debt that they owe to Eskom and the water boards, and the outstanding debt or the outstanding bills that they themselves had when it came to customers that were not paying, as well as illegal connections. So quite a detailed and long statement and briefing from the minister on the different municipalities. But according to him, it shows that there has been progress made. But obviously, this plan that was presented to him earlier this month by the task team that was tasked with looking into a recovery plan, they've now tabled it before Cabinet, but this will only be implemented, and the time frame will only be given early next year. We're looking at February. So this means that in the meantime, for example, I asked if the Eskom debt was increasing, and he said at the moment, yes, because the plan still needs to be implemented. So there has been some positive changes, but not quite as fast as I think the minister would like. But obviously, if you look at the staggering figures, this is not a problem that will be addressed overnight.
Yeah, absolutely not. I mean, if you look at that one municipality in the Free State, just one municipality owing Eskom 3 billion rand, billions more still owed to the power utility. We know the country's been facing load shedding stage 2 over the past weeks for the first time in years. Of course, recouping that money might mean Eskom would be on a better footing.
Yes, that is correct. They said that some of the plans in this recovery plan, or the proposals, will go towards also helping, or the local government department playing its part to help Eskom. But the thing is, they said at the end of October, Eskom was owed 15.9 billion by the municipalities. And if you take a quick look at the proposals, that is kind of just to give you an idea what is in that plan that was presented to Cabinet. Obviously, it's not the final plan, and it hasn't been implemented yet. But one of the points that was recommended was the restructuring of Eskom's debt and possible writing off of debt from municipalities. But they said that will also take into account the efforts made by the municipality to try and service that debt. The balance sheet of Eskom will also be looked at, and just basically the history of that municipality. How exactly that will be done and who will be involved in these discussions is not yet clear, as all the details will be worked out in this plan next year. But this is definitely one of the top priorities when it comes to turning local government around, and also making sure that it plays its part when it comes to turning around Eskom.
Yeah, absolutely. Janka, you tweeted that from that list of distressed municipalities, 15 of those municipalities have now been removed from that list. They are no longer distressed. The intervention teams that are in place there, do they still stay in their positions for the rest of the municipalities that are still distressed?
Yes, they will continue their work, even though this is not necessarily the part of the final plan. But they're saying that they will continue to stay on the ground and see if they can even take that number and make it even lower at this stage. Also taking into account that there's 30 more municipalities that's on a different list, which they call the watch list. And they're saying that they're going to be keeping a close eye on them to see if they also would maybe go onto that distressed list, which will require require urgent intervention. But for now, they're saying that they are quite confident or happy with the fact that they could remove those 15 municipalities, even though if you take the list of 87, it's not quite as many as you would like. But the minister is saying that it just shows that the teams that were on the ground, that were sent to the municipalities, that were sent into the municipalities to work with the leaders and see how they can work on a recovery plan, has been paying off. So at least we have seen some progress, but a lot will be riding on that plan that will be implemented or expected to be implemented from February next year. Also looking at the fact that he said that still at the moment 24 municipalities are still under administration. When I asked the minister how long does he expect them to stay under administration and when will this be addressed, he said that there's no specific timeline, but the hope they can say about within a year that those municipalities will no longer be in that same position.
Right, Janka Tolme giving us an update there just after the Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs Minister Zweli Mkhize gave a media briefing around local government performance.